Hello, my friends. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art. I am standing up, which is why my camera looks all crazy. I'm going to sit down for just a minute so that you can see me okay and say hello when you get here. This is episode number 3 of New Technique Wednesdays with Jen. So basically, what we do every week, starting 3 weeks ago, I have been coming live on Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock, and I am experimenting with new techniques using acrylic paints. This month, since we started, we've kind of been focusing on some backgrounds and just kind of playing with different options for making backgrounds. I'm really interested in starting off my paintings in different ways, which I haven't really ventured off into learning a lot about that. And so that's one of the things that I've been spending some time with lately to show you what we've done in the past. This is something that I've kind of played around with from our alcohol ink episode. I think that was episode number 1. We worked with alcohol ink, and then I completed an abstract floral from those sheets that I had. Here are some of the sheets that we made using alcohol ink here, basically starting with a super abstract background, and then making it into something that you want it to be. Okay, so we kind of played around with that. I like that technique. I'm not crazy about the colors that I use, but that's what we're doing. We're learning. We're learning about all of the different ways that you can work on this. Here's another cool background. So after the backgrounds dry, I'm taking them, and I'll show you a couple of different things that I've done. I'm taking them and I'm making them into actual pieces of art using those crazy backgrounds. And these are the 2 that I came up with so far that I've played around with, and I kind of like them. So I'm just going to keep on playing with that. Today, I have something a little bit different that I'd like to share with you. If you notice, there's a painting right here sitting on my studio lap. Let me bring that to a larger. This is it's probably about a 20 by 20, 16 by 16 maybe. Let me see. I'm going to measure it for us. Yeah, it's going to be, it's a weird size, maybe 15. Yeah, it's just about 15 by 15. It's a thick canvas. It is a painting that I have played around with for a long time. We painted it in my membership, not like this though. It's a spring bike floral, and I didn't like it. Okay, I don't know, there's something about it I just didn't like. So I took it and I started trying to change the background with some other colors, and then I started not liking it even more. So then I put it aside, and I said, this is probably about 2 months ago. I put it aside and I said, you know what, I'm just going to trash it and I'm going to do something else with it. So that's kind of where I am today with this. I want to play with this painting and I want to make it into something different. I am actually going to use the alcohol ink method, not alcohol ink, the isopropyl alcohol method. And my vision is to turn this floral into, I want to pretty much keep some of the floral, but I want to turn it, instead of being on the back of a bike like this, I want to turn it into a bouquet of flowers. And because I see the way that the floral is off to the right, the top right, I'm going to make the vase go somewhere over here on the bottom left so that the flowers kind of like drag in this way. So all of this is going to go away. But here's where, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing. So we're going to play around with it. I'm going to take a large flat brush. And if you remember how we did the alcohol, what we did was we took the alcohol and we sprinkled it. I'm going to put some alcohol in this little cup here so I'm ready. We took the alcohol and we sprinkled it on. But before we sprinkled it on, we had to put I'm going to get a larger paintbrush. We had to put a large, a layer of, where's my super large paintbrushes? I do not see them. I must have moved them and I don't know where I moved them. Oh, here's one of them. Let me take it out of the... So I'm going to use this big brush right here. Okay, we're going to take this. This is just a 2-inch brush. I'm going to put some water on it. We're going to take this and the colors that I have right now, I'm a little nervous about doing this, but bear with me. We're going to have some fun. We're going to put some, I want to do kind of like a navy blue. So I'm going to take some black and some blue. And I'm going to make a really watery consistency of this color. And you have to move fast, okay? You have to move fast because as soon as you get this wet layer on, you have to then sprinkle the alcohol on top to get the effect that you want. So I'm going with a navy blue because I love navy blue. It's probably my favorite color. I don't know if you realize that or not. And I'm going to make this watery consistency here. And I'm going to start laying that color down, kind of like mapping it out. I actually think I'm just going to cover it up. Hang with me here now. Oh, this is making me nervous, but it's okay. We're going to see how it's going to work. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to take my alcohol. See how thin the paint is? And I'm going to sprinkle it on here. Don't worry. You're going to make it work. All right. It's beautiful already. I love it. And I'm going to let this dry. Let me clean my paintbrush off. And I'm actually going to take my dryer to help me out with some of this. Did I just freak y'all out when I did this? Or are y'all okay with it? So you can see how, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You can see how it's starting to, you can see these little dots here. That's what I want. I want that color to come through. And then I'm going to take a paper towel. This is going to be pretty cool. I have a paper towel that has some texture to it. And I'm going to take the paper towel and I'm just going to push it down really light and kind of pick up that still wet paint. And look how it's making some kind of texture on here. I'm just kind of picking it up because I need it to be dry for my next layer. So I'm kind of helping myself by picking it up. I don't want to smear it. That's why I'm dabbing, because I don't want it to smear. And I feel like my paint was too transparent, although you do kind of need it transparent for the alcohol to work. But so far, you can pretty much see what I've done with it. Okay, I'm going to try to dry it a little bit more before I go on. Okay, and now I'm going to go back in with the same paintbrush in the same color, but not quite as transparent. So I'm going to use that navy blue and I'm just going to try it in a few areas and I'm going to see what it does with the alcohol. Okay, yeah, I like that. All right, so I'm going to go in a little bit thicker on some areas here. A little bit thicker. And I'm going to come all the way down this time. And then I'm going to use my alcohol ink again. All right, that worked much better. Okay, that worked much better. So we're going to let that dry. I like that a lot. I'm going to clean that off. And I think I'm going to take my paper towel, use another area. I'm going to take a little bit of water. I'm going to see if I can just rub some of this off, because I do want to use this flower arrangement in the whole process. So I'm just basically, again, what I'm doing is I'm trying to play around with backgrounds. Okay, look at that, how cool. I really like that. Okay, I'm going to speed up the drawing process again. So I'm going to change my background a little. Okay, perfect. I love it so far. I know some of y'all are probably saying, what did you do? Watch what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take a smaller paintbrush, like a large flat brush, and I'm going to grab a bunch of white and a little bit of yellow. Now, this is still a little wet, so I have to let it dry some. I'm going to help myself here. All right, let me dry a few little spots that I can still see that are wet. Okay, really don't want it to be wet because this lighter color paint is going to pick it up and we don't want to do that. So I am going to start pretty much coming in here, and I'm going to outline kind of like, I don't know, some kind of vase, I guess, that, excuse me, that would look pretty decent on as like the background here. So I'm going to use more black, kind of make like a grayish, greenish color, just something a little bit different. Yeah, let's go with something like that. I like that, and add a little bit more yellow to it. And I'm going to kind of start, let's see, I like, since this already has like a curve to it, although it's a little bit further over than I want, maybe I'll start here. I'm going to make a big vase out of this. And I'm going to use negative painting to kind of fill in some of this right here. So I'm going to I need some more blue. I'm using ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue and black. And I'm going to come in here. Start kind of working that in. So my eyes say, let's go about right here with a table. That might be a little high. I might have to go down some. And then back here, I'm going to start filling in some of this. Not all of it, but some of it. I'm using kind of like a mixture of gray and blue. Kind of trying to do like a dark blue background a little bit. I'm going to let those flowers come through as well. Let's see how this is going to work out. Let's go a little bit darker. I'm covering up some of it on the corners and watch it come to life. Let's hope it comes to life. I have a vision in my head and I'm going to stand up for this part. So we want kind of like a focal point, and I have some other colors that I'm going to pull in here. One of them is, of course, my yellow. I'm going to just use my finger. I'm going to bring my yellows back out. And there's a lot of texture on here already. So it's going to make for a really good layer when you start bringing your colors back out. I pulled a quinacridone magenta, and here it is. Okay, so I have a quinacridone magenta, which has kind of like that pink in it. And I'm going to use that to pull those flowers back forward. So I'm going to take, let's use this paintbrush. This is a medium size paintbrush here. And so I'm going to bring some of those flowers back forward, but I'm not going to fill them in completely. I'm just going to bring in some white in that too to make it more pink. There we go. I'm just going to bring them back forward. This is an abstract painting, by the way. I'm trying to keep it really abstract, but having fun with it, with that negative painting and alcohol ink. Now right here, I want a paper towel. I want to bring some of this back forward. So I'm going to take some of that some of that gray off. Here we go. Look, that looks like a flower right there. See it? All right, perfect. So I'm going to take some of that gray off. I'm going in and I'm just finding those little areas that have those flowers. And I'm just touching them back up. Then I'm going to reshape this area right here. I wanted a little flower right there. Okay, another color I'm going to bring in here that's not in here yet is a green. So I'm going to take my yellow and my ultramarine blue, which this is cadmium yellow light. And I'm going to bring in some greenery. And I'm going to go a little bit more of like a lime green. So I'm going to add some more yellow to it. Okay, then I have a purple in there that I really like. I'm cleaning that off. And so to get the purple back forward, I'm going to take my magenta and my ultramarine blue, and I'm going to mix those together. And I'm going to bring that forward as well. You can even use your finger. If you want. Work fast and work in and out. Go in and then go out. I'm going to bring a little bit of that purple over here. A little bit over here. All right. Shaping this a little more. Perfect. Playing. All I'm doing is playing. I'm not doing anything but playing. There's a aqua green that's in here, so I'm going to bring that aqua green back out. It's kind of like a turquoise color. A little bit of white in it. You can see it here. Filling in some of those gaps. Turquoise. Now you want to have a spice. I call it a really focal point in here. So I'm going to bring, I don't think y'all can see it as well as I can. I'm going to change this lighting. I'm going to bring in a little bit more of the quinacridone. And maybe I should use the Luminous Opera, which is a super, super vibrant pink. I'm going to try this first, though. I'm going to bring in the quinacridone magenta again. Perfect. Let's bring in some of those bright colors in there. I didn't add pink in it. I mean, I didn't add white to make it pink. I just used solid magenta. And let's go back with that yellow. Yellow. I'm going to add some white to the yellow. Just trying to bring all those flowers back forward. Yeah, that works. So think about your corners. Like I have this corner, I have a really bright flower. And I think that I want that to be like my main focal point of the whole flower arrangement. So now I'm going to go back in to a little bit more green, bluish green, a lighter green right in here. Just kind of soften everything up. Keep it super abstract. But it's you can pretty much tell that it is a flower arrangement. It's got a lot of fun to it. Let's add a little bit. I'm going to fool with we're going to make this look more like a glass vase. I really like the way it's coming out so far. So I'm going to fool with two things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more white. And I'm going to grab a little bit of white. And then we're almost done. I'm going to grab some white. And I hope you're learning from this. If you're learning anything you're learning, don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. Just do it. Just go in and figure some things out. I don't want this little thing to be quite so. So I'm going to add some white. Bring in my vase here. Let's add some water to make it more transparent because I don't want to hide all of those beautiful colors that are in the base. I want to keep some of it dark. Instead of adding color on top, I'm going to take a little bit of color away. Perfect. And so we need to think about our light source, I guess. And so let's do this side. We're going to go lighter, and then this side will go darker. So I'll come back in a little bit of that. Let's take some of that off. I'm using a spray bottle and some paper towels to take some of the paint off. And if you can't get it off as much as you want, then grab a paintbrush and add. What I'm trying to do is get a little more of a darker color right there. And I'm going to try to go kind of like a purpley color. That's still a little bit too light. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to make that side a little darker. Let's go with a little black. That'll work too. Okay. Don't be shy. Bring this side a little bit. I like that. Now we need I want to go a little bit lighter with my base. So I'm going to add some white to my paintbrush. And right here is going to be the shadow. Now, when I made my base like that a little bit lighter, it kind of made everything pop as well. And then I've got my shadow here. Let's make that shadow a little bit darker. All right, and let's finish up some little areas on it. A little more blue and yellow for some greens. I like the all of the like spots you can see in it. It's super cool. I'm trying to make this look like it's kind of droopy. And then I wanted to go back in with some white in here. So I have a little bit of white in a few areas. Bring in a few more white spots. Make this super white right there. And this, my friends, is a quick, I need blue and yellow. A quick, fun, abstract floral. I think I was able to accomplish what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to bring that floral arrangement. I wanted to keep the floral arrangement in the painting, but I did not want the bike anymore. And I wanted to make it an abstract, fun, free, let's just play around type of painting. And I think I was able to accomplish that. A little bit more yellow in here. A little bit more. And then there's one other color. I want to bring that pink in here just a little bit more. Just give the base a little more softness down here. And then the greens with some stems. Need a little bit of black. Where's my black? I had black somewhere around here. Here it is. Need a little bit more black. Different paintbrush because these are already too dirty. So I'm going to come in with another paintbrush. A little bit darker in here with the background. Just a little bit darker. Make it pop just a little bit more. It's kind of crooked, so let me straighten it up. This needs to come out this way. Yeah. All right. I think I'm done. So that, my friends, I know it looks crazy right now. I'm going to show it to you in the other view. It is definitely an abstract painting, and I think it's pretty awesome. This view always looks better when you look at it like this, straight up and down. And that is what I was able to accomplish. I turned that entire old painting into a new, vibrant floral bouquet just by using that floral piece that I had and got rid of everything else. So I hope you like this. This was a super fun technique. I'm actually going to keep this painting. I'm not going to paint over it because I love it, and I hope you love it too. And yes, Miss Lana, there is a replay for this. The video will stay in the on the Facebook group for 30 days, and then Facebook will remove it unless you are a Den member, a VIP Den member. Then you have access to this as long as you are a member, because these videos are also dropped into our online classroom where all of our videos are, which is almost 400 tutorials now in our online classroom. So that, my friends, was super fun. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. And we will see you next week for next New Technique Wednesday. Y'all have a great day. Bye.